Brothers and sisters all, my name is Arsalan Mohammed and I'm the President for the Interfaith Council for Community Development. I'd like to say welcome to each and every one of you here this afternoon here, our 4th annual pre-Ramadan Safety and Security Conference here at the Bosnian Center. We appreciate your company this afternoon as we share information with you and leaders of the community as we head towards the month of Ramadan, which is expected to commence on Monday, May the 6th. So we make preparations like this every year, and last year I remember we were right here at the Bosnian Center for that conference, and our leaders and places of worship, they benefited tremendously. Just to brief you quickly, before we go into the identification, what the ICCD has done. Last year at Smoky Park, September, we welcomed the Muslim New Year 1440, which we are currently in right now, 1440. We had a big event there to welcome that, and that was the first time that we ever had an event like that to welcome the Muslim New Year. Even a lot of officials came up to me and said, we never knew that you Muslims had a New Year. So it was creating awareness within the community and within elected officials that we have a Muslim calendar by which we follow. Right now we are in the month of Shaban, and this period of time now is very sacred, not only for the Muslims but also for the Christians. The period of Lent is on. Even for the Hindus, we have the period of Navratri is now on. So this is what makes this period of time very blessed, and this is where Interfaith Council for Community Development comes in, because we work with all faiths and we follow them, and this is what makes it very special and unique. After that, then we had the Hindu festival of Diwali. We also did a program for that. Then we had Christmas, giveaway toys. We joined with them, the organizations, and that also happened. Thanksgiving, we gave away clothing to the poor and needy and invited them for a meal. So those are some of the events last year. This year, we had February, which was Black History Month. We had an event also for that. Last month, March, quietly slipped by, Women's History Month. We had an event for that also. So these are all events that we are planning. Today we are having this event, and just to brief you quickly, 2 other events which is already approved. We have an iftar coming up at World Fair Marina, and we just had approval today from the Borough Hall to have the first iftar outside Queen's Borough Hall. Never happened before. So those are decas on the outside of Borough Hall. So that's the first time. So those are the projections up to that point in time. We also have others. So with the information that you've written down there, that's how we will feed you the information, and we hope you understand that. Thank you very much. We will now go to our invocation and we move into our program. In the name of God, the compassionate and merciful, praise be to God, Lord of all the worlds, the compassionate, the merciful, ruler on the day of reckoning. You alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those whom have received your grace, not the path of those who have brought down wrath, nor of those whom wander astray. Our Lord, punish us not if we forget or fall into error. Our Lord, lay not on us a burden like that which thou did lest on those before us. Our Lord, put on us a burden greater, do not put a burden greater on us that we have the strength to bear. Pardon us and grant us forgiveness. Have mercy on us. Our Lord, grant us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and save us from the chastisement of the fire. We pray for our mothers and fathers as they took care of us in our childhood. Our Lord, kindly accept this humble supplication from us. Amen. Amen. O God Almighty, Master, Creator of the heavens and the universe, please let it be so. That's our invocation, my beloved brothers and sisters. As we now move into the next item, we have the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, and this will be done by little Ivana Laban as she makes her way to the podium. Little Ivana Laban, she's a student of Young Women's Leadership School, started singing at age 4, following the instruments, piano and guitar at the ages of 8 and 11. Most of her videos can be found on YouTube. She enjoys singing in Korean, Chinese, Lebanese, and English, and hopes to sing in many more languages to come. Time now for the Pledge of Allegiance. We stand, and also for the national anthem, Little Ivana Laban.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, in liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars streaming, and the rockets ran clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much. That's little Ivana Laban. She has graced many of our other events, and thank you very much. The family is here. We thank them for coming out and doing the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner of the United States of America. Let's move on with our program. We now have a presentation by, of course, Interfaith Council for Community Development is partnering with the Bosnian Community Center right here. Last year we did the same, and we're very grateful and appreciative for the Bosnian community to be cooperating with us and doing this venture as a joint venture, so our communities and leaders can benefit from what we portray and send out here today. So, as a man who's been serving this community, came in this country about 30 years ago and made a name for himself, started places of worship in Astoria, little place, and then in Preston Street, and then they came in this neighborhood. So they're expanding all the time. Even in upstate, they have mosques. So they're spreading their wings because they want people to worship the God of Abraham. And this is very important for us. And he's always willing, with an extending hand, come, let's work together. And here we are this evening. He's none other than Brother Ismail, the president of the Bosnian Islamic community right here. Pleasure to have him at the podium. Brother Ismail.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. What a great night to have people who put their life to protect all New Yorkers in the mosque, in the Islamic Center. Thank you for coming. Thank all of you from a different faith, from building department, fire department, parks department, everybody who came here tonight. So I want to give you a little background for where we're coming from. We're coming from Bosnia, Sanja, former Yugoslavia. Basically, about 30 years ago, we have no opportunity but to pack our stuff and leave our beloved country. And thank God we came to a blessed country of America, and we came to one of the best cities in the world, New York City. As we came here, and if you look at history, people from Europe came here for the persecution, and they find freedom in the United States of America. We find the freedom for us here as well. We can worship our God. We also understand other religion. And I will want to say this. If you look what happened in New Zealand, don't matter what religion you're in, don't matter what you practice, if you don't have your heart crying, your faith might be in question. If you also see what happened to Jewish community in New Jersey, and what happened to many African American church in America, if you don't cry and your heart doesn't cry for these people, whether they're Christian, Jews, Muslim, Hindu, whatever faith they are, something's wrong with your faith. You might have to do a lot of cleaning of your heart. In New York, it's the best example for humanity. We have every religion, every color. We just need to get to know each other, and we can get to respect each other. Thank you for coming, and God be with you.
Thank you very much, President Ismail, hard work in the community, and 30 years is a short time for the accomplishments that the Bosnian community has done, and we recognize that, we know that, right? And if you follow the history way back from 1995, from the time they left that place, and came back here, they've made a name for themselves. Once again, Brother Ismail and the entire Bosnian community, we'd like to express our gratitude, appreciation, and thanks for cooperating and working with us together once again for this 4th annual Pre-Ramadan Safety and Security Conference. This is greatly appreciated by all the members of the ICCD, which is multi-faith. Hindus, Muslim, Christians, Jews, Buddhists, we all work together. And so it's a great feeling when we work with all of these faiths and understand and respect each other's faiths. Once again, Brother Ismail, thanks very much for that little talk there. We now go to agencies presentation. So we have all the agencies up there. Let's get the fire departments here. Way ahead of the table. Can you come forward? Way up here. Okay. His name is Brother Mohammed, so he'll give us briefly. He's got stuff here, and I see he can do it in 3 to 5 minutes, which is good.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. And a good evening to everyone else. My name is Firefighter Moaz. I'm stationed in Whitestone, Queens. I'm currently with the Fire Safety Unit right here in Fort Totten. And I'm just here to briefly tell you guys some tips for you guys to be safe at home, or even in the mosque, or wherever you guys may be. But especially at home, the number one thing we tell everyone is please make sure you have a working smoke detector. The newer ones now, they're all combination smoke and CO. You really should have at least one on each floor, but if you could even get one in all of the bedrooms, then we highly encourage you guys to do so. And please make sure they work, because we're all aware of what happens. You're cooking, or the battery's low, it starts chirping, you take the battery out, and nobody ever replaces the battery. The new ones now, they last for 10 years. You never have to change the battery. You just put it in and you leave it. If you guys need any help installing one or even purchasing one, the Red Cross has a program. They will come out to your home, install as many as you need. All you have to do is just let them know. And that number is 877 Red Cross. They will come out, no questions asked, just install as many as you guys need. So please make sure you have a working CO alarm. If you're not sure, push the button in the middle. Make sure you test it weekly or at least once a month. Another tip that I would like to give you guys is if you have any major appliances, such as anything that heats or cools down, so a space heater or refrigerator, an air conditioner, please don't plug it into an outlet that looks like this. Even if it looks like it says surge protected on it, it's still not going to be helpful for you, or even this one. Everyone thinks because they're orange and they're a little bit thicker, they're safer. They're really not. The wire that's inside of this one, it's the same size as any of the wire you get from the dollar store. They're very thin, it's just slightly more insulated, and what happens when you connect these major appliances to them, they run for extended periods of time, they overheat, and it's a major cause of fire for us. We've already had 21 fatalities in New York City due to fires, and our goal is to really try and reduce that as much as we can. And the best thing we can do is educate you guys on how to be safer. So please, no major appliances connected to either this one or this one. It's really only made for like small things like your cell phone charger or anything that doesn't run for extended periods of time. And the last key thing that I can tell you guys to try and help prevent fires in your home is candles. Be careful, we just had a fire in Brooklyn. They lost the entire building. And it's believed to be because someone had left a candle next to a curtain. It was a windy day, blew the curtain onto the candle, they lost the whole building. So they make electronic candles now. They smell just as good, and they look just as pretty. We encourage you guys to change that. Lastly, I'm just gonna say, make sure you have a plan with your children at home or in your mosque or any type of public space where you spend a lot of time, especially as Ramadan's coming up. It's really important that you reach out to your mosque and try to make sure they have some type of plan or a drill that you guys can go over with everyone, especially at home and with the kids. Make sure you talk to them. God forbid there is a fire in your house. Everyone knows what to do, where to go, and stay safe, have a plan. All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Brother Moaz from New York Fire Department, and he works in the safety department. So, questions, you got the cards there? Start writing your questions. Department of Buildings, that's right. Sector is here. So, kindly come forward for your presentation. And this is a man everybody should know within our community to make sure everything is right. Inshallah, God willing, okay? Brother Moaz has set the standards for 5 minutes. I will give you an extra minute, 6 minutes.
Okay, I just want to say, first of all, I happen to live in Community Board 9. I don't live too far from here, so I feel like a neighbor. My name is Sam Schechter. I'm Community Engagement Liaison for Department of Buildings. I just want to tell you, as you see, I'm a religious person, and it's very important for me to pray in my synagogue, my house of prayer, and I'm sure you as well, but I can't stress enough. It's important to get a certificate of occupancy. Certificate of occupancy is a combination of all types of fire inspections and public assembly and all other types of things. These are places of public assembly. If God forbid you don't have a plan, you don't have anything put together for public assembly, and if something happens, a fire, some other catastrophe, it could be very, very dangerous. There is laws in place to prevent these things, or at least mitigate those issues. So it's very important. And I've seen that there are some mosques and they have temporary certificates of occupancy, which is good, but that's only temporary, and there's still a lot of work that has to be done. So it's important to have that finalized. And also I see that there have been some actual work done on these processes and stopped somewhere. Years ago, something happened, I don't know. The architect might have walked away or something. It's important to finish that. You really can't occupy, you can't occupy your house of worship without it. And of course, make sure an architect is a competent architect. There are associations, the American Association of Architects, or other, there are organizations that will help you out, and architect, engineer, and of course, in electrical matters, get a licensed electrician, because, you could have a spark, something could happen, the wires are not put together properly. And I would also encourage everyone to come Tuesday night as soon as possible, because Ramadan is coming up. Tuesday nights we have a homeowners night from 4:30 to 7. Apartment Buildings, 120-55 Queens Boulevard, and hopefully we can help you out there. And those, as far as say, also mosques that you, if you are need some help along the way, we have a project advocate at the Buildings Department that could hopefully move things along, streamline it, and hopefully be ready for that for the holiday. And That's it. I want to wish you all well and be safe.
Thank you very much, Brother Schechter, for coming up here from Department of Buildings. He gave you the meeting going to happen at 12055 Queens Boulevard. That's the place where you got a problem. Ramadan is coming up, so let's follow and be in compliance. It's very simple. He's there, and they're willing to work along with all the leaders, mosques, and places of worship. So keep this in mind. They're not here to intimidate, and that's the reason why we have this. So you approach them, and they will work with you. Very simple and easy. Commissioner Parks, new man, Mr. Dockett, he's got a lot on his shoulders.
Thank you, and good evening. Thanks for inviting me here tonight to meet you. My name is Mike Dockett. I'm the new Borough Commissioner for Queens Parks. Today marks my 6th week on the job here in Queens, and June will mark my 34th year at Parks. So I'm well versed in what goes on in parks citywide. I'm looking forward to focusing on the Borough of Queens. And I want you to know that our parks are your parks, right? So you're welcome into our parks for your celebrations, for your rituals. Parks and our open spaces are where people gather to get close to nature, get close to each other, for social events, community events. We're open, receptive to that. In fact, we've issued over 42 special event permits for your group, so you come out to the park in June. So you're welcome to our parks. If you have questions, we're here to help you. Every street tree in the Queens, it comes under the jurisdiction of parks. Our beaches, our pools, our recreation facilities are open to you. So I'm glad to meet you tonight. I hope to get to work closer with you over the next few years. And I just thank you for inviting me here tonight. I'd like to introduce a fellow in the audience, Phil Sparaccio. He's the Deputy Chief of Operations for Queens. So he's the hands-on person that will meet you out in the field, get you set up in our parks, and follow up with your events. So Phil, if you want to.
Thank you very much. 6 weeks on the job, I'm already doing great. All right, so a lot of things in the future. We're going to hold you to that. Thank you very much. That's short, great presentation. Overflowing of masjid on Eid. Eid is going to be, and let's do the projection. It's going to be, we got alternative 2 days, all depending on sighting of the moon, right? They're willing to work with you. That's right. When we have moon sighting, either Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Eid, okay? And that's the reason why we bring them to the table, all right? So there should be no confusion. They're willing to work with you. Parks, because some of the mosques, they have overflow, and you go to the parks to pray the Eid Salah, okay? So keep this in mind. Let's move on and see what we have next here. The Department of Transportation is next. That's right, in sequence. So can you come up to the podium? Yes.
Hello everyone. My name is Andrew Arcis. I'm a Borough Planner in DOT's Queens Borough Commissioner's Office. So our office handles all issues with DOT-related issues in Queens. Specifically, I cover generally Northeast Queens and the Rockaways, but I'm here tonight just because it sounded like a great event. And my father actually went to high school right across the street, so we got some family ties here as well. Just go over briefly what our agency does generally. So we're the streets. Anything you see on the streets and sidewalks generally falls under the jurisdiction of the Department of Transportation, except street trees, like the Commissioner said. But we do work together often. So yeah, we cover everything streets and sidewalks. That means the roadways, so potholes, resurfacing, things like that, as well as the sidewalks, sidewalk repair, trip hazards, things like that. Street lighting is also a component that DOT does, and that also includes street lighting within parks. And then generally we also do things like urban art, things like that, markings on the roadway, etc. Just to go over a few things, this is now that the weather is getting warmer, we're looking at what we call resurfacing season. We can't really do that during the winter because of the cold temperatures. That also includes markings. I know a lot of times you see streets, they'll get resurfaced in late October, November. and then they'll go the whole winter without markings. We try to avoid that as much as possible, but the weather sometimes doesn't cooperate, so we look to come back in the spring to complete those. Generally, safety is our first priority. DOT and just the city as a whole, I should say, has seen traffic injuries and fatalities generally decrease to record lows over the past few years. That's as part of the Vision Zero initiative, which is an initiative to reduce traffic fatalities to zero. Now, we understand that may not be 100% realistic, but we want to get there as close as possible, and we're seeing great progress over the past few years. Some things we're doing are redesigns of the street. We've lowered the speed limit citywide, and we've continued to see this, and we have great partners with the NYPD. We thank you for enforcement as well. That is a huge component of Vision Zero, and going forward, we hope to continue to see the same progress. So, yeah, any questions? You could always reach us. By the way, our number for the Queensborough Commissioner's Office is 212, we're in Queens, we're at Borough Hall, but it's 212-839-2510. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful, nice presentation. And hope you're making notes, everybody. Making your notes, all leaders, that's your responsibility. You have that mantle on your shoulder to disseminate back the information when you go back to your respective places of worship, to pass on this information. Do not keep it to yourself, okay? Make sure you pass it on to your congregation, everybody present there, executive committee and everyone, so that they're fully well aware that you attended a program of this nature and kind, okay? So, okay, let's move on. Department of Sanitation, Ramadan, iftar time, dinner time, extra garbage, okay? We've got a man here, he'll tell you what to do. You have the index cards on your table, so write your questions down, and I'll get Asim to pick it up and bring it up, so when that question time comes, we will answer them and direct it to the direct person to answer those. Okay, Brother James is here, James O'Connor, Department of Sanitation, the main man, especially in Ramadan.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I'd like to take a moment to thank you to everyone who came out this evening, especially for the ICCD for having us all here. Real quick, one important phone number I'd like to give everyone here this evening is the phone number to the Department of Sanitation's Customer Service Unit. So if you have a Department of Sanitation related concern or something you'd just like to get more clarification on, please call this office and we can definitely assist you. With everyone in the office, we have more than enough experience to answer any and all DSNY related concerns. So that phone number is 646-885-3769. And now that phone number is in operation Mondays through Fridays, 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. If you have to call outside of those hours, please do leave a voicemail message. We check those messages every morning. Okay? Now, with that being said, we are in a mostly residential area of Queens. I myself actually live a stone's throw away in Middle Village. And the three main issues that a lot of the property owners around here are facing are violations that you would receive during what are known as the residential routing hours. Okay? Now, basically what that means is that every day there are 2 hours when Department of Sanitation can issue a violation for dirty sidewalk, dirty area, or failure to clean 18 inches from the curb. Okay? And these are 2 important hours to note. Those are from 8 to 8:59 a.m. and 6 to 6:59 p.m. Okay, so I know a lot of the concerns stem from dumping in front of the property, or just general litter building up in front of the property, and the concerns over violations or a ticket being issued for something like that. So as long as you clean just before those 2 hours, you will be fine. And in the off chance that something does occur and you'd like clarification as to why it happened or anything of that nature, as I said earlier, please contact my office. Any questions after the meeting, I'll happily answer those as well. And, we're here to help, so if you have any concerns at all, please contact us, okay? Thank you.
We want to introduce the next person, and probably she'll make this apology for us, yes. The first Hispanic to hold this position. That's right, Nilda Hoffman. She is Chief Community Affairs, and she is responsible for the entire community out there and all the community offices, out there in the field. So it's a pleasure to have you at the podium.
Let's say good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. As you see, my name is not on the program, 640, but I'm here on behalf of the police commissioner who sends his apology. He was supposed to be here tonight, and then I got a phone call this morning. He is stuck overseas and asked me to come here and represent him. So I'm here representing the police commissioner on his behalf. So I wanted to first thank the Interfaith Council for Community Development, its president Arslan Mohammed, along with the entire board and staff, and everyone who supports the organization. By fostering understanding and partnership among people of different faiths, the council is spreading a message of peace that none of us can afford to ignore. Your work has never been more important, and we're here and very grateful for everything that you do. Thank you to the Bosnian Center for this hosting us here tonight. What a beautiful location here, and thank you for all that you do. It's important that we come here together and we prepare for the holy month in the Islamic calendar. It is time of spiritual reflection, renewal of faith, and commitment to charity. And it hinges on every person's right to worship freely without fear. It is our job as a police department to make sure that you feel safe at all times, especially not only during Ramadan, but all during the year. There is no credible threat or specific threats against the city or any Muslim community, but as you know, especially during the holidays, the police department is out in force to make sure that you're able to pray at your mosque. So you'll see the increased patrols at all the different mosques at all hours. We're always visible and not visible. You'll see the difference here. We'll have our steady sector officers, our neighborhood coordination officers. You'll see our community affairs officers, and our highly trained SRG and CRC officers out there in the community. We partner up with our clergy liaisons to make sure that residents and worshipers are able to address any issues that happen and be able to tell us in real time. A lot of planning goes in what we do during this time. And just know that we have the best police department out there, and we're here to make sure that you're safe. NYPD cops, are the best in the country, and they're here to make sure that you are protected and are safe at all times. We talk about shared responsibility all the time, so we're here together as a community to ensure the safety of all. It takes, not all, we always talk about it, it's just not the NYPD, it's the cops, it's the residents. We have here clergy personnel, business people, and all together to ensure the safety of all. It's really hard to hate up close, and when you look at each other in the eyes and work together toward a common purpose, you get public safety that truly looks and feels different. What we want everyone to have input about the issues in their neighborhood. And we want everyone to know that there's a direct part of every solution. This is how we'll continue to push crime and disorder down. We want to make sure that the 8.6 million people here in the city know that the NYPD is here for them and that we're here to protect them. We thank you again for inviting us here. I want to thank and congratulate all the honorees here. And on behalf of the police commissioner, I want to thank you for his award here tonight. And happy holiday and happy Ramadan. Thank you.
Very special thanks to Chief of Community Affairs, Sister Nilda Hoffman, for gracing us on this special occasion and filling in for the Police Commissioner, James O'Neill, who has been delayed overseas, and he did send us an email. He did direct that email straight to the ICCD, and he expressed his regrets. As a matter of fact, last year he was supposed to be here, but then an emergency came up and they had to leave. Duty calls, fine. This year, the same thing happened. That's fine. But somebody would step up to the plate always. Remember that. The show goes on. I have the man who founded this organization, ICCD, in 2014, right? And he's been there all the time, doing tremendous work over the years. When you look back at the history of it, a lot of work. And only recently, that mantle was thrown onto my shoulders, just about 3 or 4 months ago. In December, to be exact, December, it was thrown into my shoulder. Right? Probably ICCD saw something good in me to pass on the baton to me to do the job. And I really appreciate that. So at this program, he's present here. He is now representing Sister Melinda Katz, who could not have made it here this afternoon. So I'll call him in that capacity, Brother Mohammed Hat, to address us, and also we will move into the presentation of Brother Mohammed Hat.
Good evening, and assalamu alaikum, salam namaskar. It is indeed a wonderful evening today to be here representing my boss, the Borough President of Queens. But before I get to that, I want to share this with you. I have great regrets that I didn't put the baton in Arsalan's hand a few years ago, because the amount of things that he has been going on with in terms of programs, I don't think too many organizations out there are catching up to him. And I applaud him for the effort he's making. First, on behalf of the Borough President, I want to apologize for her not being here. She has been here to previous programs, continue inviting us, and when she's available or when she can come, depending on the scheduling, she will be at your functions. I want to extend our heartiest congratulations for all the men and women in blue that have taken time to be here today. We have to understand that they are the most important in our lives. Every day that they leave their homes, there's no guarantee that they are going back home. They're risking their lives for protecting all of us. And every time we see them out there, approach them and give them a handshake and thank them for what they are doing for all of us. I want to also thank the representative of various other elected officials that are here. And I want to thank the representatives of various agencies that came out here. I heard the commissioner before at our office. 34 years is not a short time, so who is better to fill that position than a man with 34 years of service? And that is where our commissioner stands out distinctly, because he has came through. I always ask myself, being a foreigner coming into the country, I always ask myself, why we keep importing commissioners for the NYPD? Finally, we see someone coming through the ranks, and as we look around, most of them, Sion Nilda, my good friend, Assistant Chief Barrera, and many more, my friend Paul Valorga, Deputy Inspector, and many more. I don't want to start calling names, but I think I know more than half of this. But it's how you integrate yourself, that's how you are known. There were days in Bronx when I had known every ranking officer from the borough chief right down to the sergeant, and every precinct, because I was security management and they were on the other side of the fence, but we all integrate. But back to my point with the borough president, she asked that you accept her apology. She wanted to thank the President Arsalan Mohammed for the job he's doing and putting all these programs together. She's very sorry that she could not have been here. She mentioned that we all must stand together against any form of hate. And we must be together and send a strong message that hurting anyone is abnormal. And anyone that hurts someone will face the consequences. Every human has a right to live without being a target because of his faith, culture, ethnicity, or orientation. And it is never acceptable. One thing we take pride in here in Queens is our diversity. We are more than 100 countries and 200 languages, but yet we live very happy. Nearly half of our population came from elsewhere. and of the many cultures represented in the borough of Queens' diverse community, it is certainly dynamic. In Queens, we are all committed to respect for all and hate for none. And our laws are always enforced to bring justice to anyone who committed any hateful act. More folks are involved today in precinct council, community boards, and civic organization. We ask that you continue to be more involved. You're here today as leaders. Connect with your respective precinct. Connect with them, because everything that the commissioner is going to tell you comes through them. So you connect, they tell you exactly what is going on, what they can do for you. There are questions that you may have to ask, but that's their department. The agencies, they are there to help. You know, I hear many people say when they hear Department of Building, I guess they got more fearful than if they hear the NYPD. Well, my friends, do the right thing and you don't have to fear. The Department of Building is there to help you. They're begging you to help you. But take the initiative. You have to do it and they will help. But if you run around and think that they will overlook all the time, there come a time when they have to enforce so as to protect people and property, safety. People's lives are paramount. And that is priority. Every Tuesday, as the gentleman said, and I know that's the most critical area in our community. I know many times you hear they are moving very slow. Well, here it is, building department is ready to fast track any issue you have with your mosque or any places of worship. Am I correct, my friend?
Yes, yeah.
They are ready to fast track. So let's move along, do what we have to do. Sanitation going to give you extra pickup. Follow through your respective community board. The sanitation districts are the same as your community boards. So if you live in community board 9, sanitation district will be board 9. The commissioner spoke about the parks. Understand that the lead may be 1 or 2 or the other day. They are not charging you double. They understand that. That if it based on the sighting of the moon, it may be the day that they apply for, or the day after, or the day before. They do understand all of that. DOT understands that it is important for you to have every square inch of parking spot. So if they have a construction or a paving job to do, and they can defer it to after your holy time, and this goes for every faith, not only Muslims. Everyone has time when they need to assemble in their respective places of worship. If they can defer that project, I'm certain they will defer it. And the young man from that, the representative from there, we work side by side. He's on the south side and I'm on the north side of the building. So I'm not going to take up much more of your time. I write your question, the president is here, borough president is also there to help. If you have any issues, constituent services issues, we also have a constituent department. You call 718-286-3000 or you call ME Hack. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm here. You can use me as much as you want, but don't abuse me. I'm here to serve. I've been serving all my life. And I'm at service to you. The borough president is at service to you, and I'm here to share that, to extend open arms to everyone. Bring your complaints, bring your issues, and we'll try to take care of it. If it's an agency issue, we have to forward it to the agencies. So yesterday there was a lady that came, oh, I never had a violation in my house. The inspector came and tell me she's from Con Edison. She came into my house and she wrote me a ticket. I've been going back and forth. I said, what happened? She said they write something for about BX cable. I said, ma'am, they would not write blindly. They had to see something in your house and they wrote you that. Oh, it's 3 years now. All the summons have been dismissed except one. I have to go to oath. I said, well, it's a legal matter. You have to go there and you have to explain to them. But sometimes people get problems and they think that they can beat the system. They don't want to go through, follow the procedures. It doesn't work that way. Anything we do in life have a process. So I'm not going to bore you any longer. Thank you very much, and good luck to the ICCD. It's in good hands now, but I still volunteer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed Haq, founder and past president for the Interfaith Council for Community Development. Thanks very much. He works in the office of the Borough President, Belinda Katz, and representing here tonight. Thanks very much for coming out and gracing us in the occasion, and continue doing all the good work where our communities can benefit. We have the chief here, Chief Barrere. He's been very patient. We'll call him up here now. He was there over at 161 Street for that first conference, and he's got a tough task on his hand in this area. Always a pleasure to have you.
It's all good. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm delighted to be here with you on this beautiful evening, and I want to thank Mr. Mohammed, Dr. Haq, and Mr. Ishmael, and all the members of the Interfaith Council and the Bosnian Islamic Community Center for welcoming me to this fourth annual pre-Ramadan dialogue. Ramadan's going to be here very soon, so I just wanted to touch on a few things and remind everyone about our pre-Ramadan conference at police headquarters. That's going to be held on April 23rd at 10 a.m. And it's a time where we can really discuss any issues that you may have, any issues that arise during Ramadan, any local concerns. You get to meet Chief Hoppin will be there. I'll be there. The police commissioner will be there. You get to meet your local commanding officers and a lot of the executives in the New York City Police Department. And we discuss any topic that you might want to talk about, everything from prayer services to parking at the masjid. So if you have the time, I really encourage you to come out and attend. Participating in meetings and working together is critically important to our continued success. And last year, working with the Muslim community and our local imams, we developed a deployment strategy that put a uniformed police officer at every outdoor prayer service during Ramadan. And Councilman, I left you out on that one. You were involved with that also. So we worked together, and we really came up with a strategy to deploy police officers during any outdoor service. This deployment was a direct result of meetings like this, of us working together right here in Queens. I also want to encourage you to attend your local community councils, your build-a-block meetings, and really get to know your commanding officers and your local neighborhood coordination officers. I have a lot of my staff here tonight. Commanding officers, raise your hand. All my executive staff, they're here tonight. Come join them, get to know them, get to know your local precinct commanders. I'd also like to mention that tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., we have an active shooter training presentation at the Igna Masjid, and that's located at 166-26 89th Avenue on the second floor. We'll have our counterterrorism specialists with the local imams, and they put on a presentation how to really work and deal with an active shooter situation. We saw what just happened overseas, and I encourage you, if you have time, come out. That's open to everybody, and I encourage you to attend. And just in closing, I'd like to remind anyone that I would love to come out and be invited to any iftar ceremonies or any other event that you'd like me to come and speak at, any of the masjids. And once again, thank you for inviting me. My commitment to this community is to continue to work with you, to keep you safe. We'll work together and improve the community of life. Thank you.
Chief Barrere, thanks very much, gracing our podium here this evening, and he's got a great task in his hand. Thanks very much for your presentation. As we move on next to our honorees. First of all, let's start with Police Commissioner James O'Neill. He's not here. This award was prepared since last year for him. And when he was on his way here, there arose an emergency. And he sent us a text, an email, sorry, this takes priority. We replied back, we know, duty calls. And that was made since 2018 for James O'Neill, all right? And Nilda Hoffman is here representing. I'll read it first here, and we'll make this presentation. And I'll call Brother Hack because he was the president last year to make this presentation. Lifetime Leadership Award, O'Neill, New York Police Department, for his extraordinary leadership and dedication in fostering safety and security of all New York City residents. A tireless leader whose knowledge and ability ensure that the safety of all is met through collaboration and cooperation from various agencies within and around New York City. With much appreciation and gratitude, the Interfaith Council for Community Development, I'll give Brother Dr. Mohammed Hack to make this presentation. James O'Neill, yes, it's for James O'Neill, and she'll be receiving it on behalf of him.
Well, at least you didn't rob him of his...
Yes, that's right. Yeah. 1 minute. Closer. Gotcha. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on next. We have Deputy Chief David Barreri. We'll call the past president, Dr. Mohammed Hack, was present at that time to make this presentation. Once again, let me read this if you don't mind. Leadership Award presented to David Barreri, Chief, Queens County, New York Police Department, for his extraordinary leadership and humanity in ensuring the safety and security of all New York City communities, especially those under his immediate command, Queens South. With much appreciation and gratitude, the Interfaith Council for Community Development Next we move on, and next in line, Council Member Danny Miller. Service community so bad over the years. Can you come up? And I'll call a member of ICCD, Interfaith Council for Community Development, to make this presentation. James Bonaparte. James Bonaparte, kindly come forward. I want you to make this presentation as a member for ICCD, because this is this year, okay? This is dated this year, so we're taking control from Dr. Mohammed Hack now, all right? Community Service Award presented to I, Danny Miller, Council Member, District 27, for untiring efforts in acquiring resources from city government and providing remarkable collaboration and implementation for residents of District 27 and beyond. Your exceptional leadership is an inspiration to humanity, and your stewardship is always seen as a catalyst for development among all cultures, faiths, and nationalities. With much appreciation and gratitude, the Interfaith Council for Community Development, April 11th, that's today, 2019. Danny Miller. So I'll give James Bonaparte, yes, to make this presentation while I take pictures.
Assalamu alaikum. It's such an honor and privilege to be here again. As the revelation of the prophet is once again upon us, we gather here in unity. Another year, and I want to thank the Islamic Center once again for opening up the doors of this magnificent edifice and allowing us to be here, and certainly the Interfaith Council for the work that is being done. To Chief Barreri and Commissioner and the other honorees, congratulations, and to everyone here in the room, I just want to say how comfortable I am with all of my community partners that are here today, these agencies that serve us so well, and all the dedicated civil servants and public servants that provide these services, that we, our community, are really lucky and blessed to have them serve us. And that is what makes our community, as Mohammed Hack said so eloquently earlier on behalf of the borough president that we do it so well here in Queens. While we have this grand representation of NYPD, I personally would also like to thank them for the work that they do, the attentiveness that they do for and bring to our community. What they did, I know last month, I know I had Chief Barrera up all times of the day and night after the New Zealand tragedy, and certainly they were there, and that we see the provisions that they have put in place to keep communities safe as we move forward. So I do have a few things before I leave the podium that we have, and so as was mentioned, we're going to have, during Ramadan, we're going to have the iftar in the park, in a number of parks in the district. I think we're going to be in Haggerty Park, which is Jamaica Park. We're going to be in Kings Park. We're going to be in 150th Street Park. And the commissioner's looking at me like, yeah, the permits are there. So as long as they're there, we're going to be there. And then once again this year, inshallah, I will be hosting along with the Speaker of the New York City Council Eid celebration at City Hall, and that is going to be obviously tentatively on June the 6th, perhaps the 10th, but right now June the 6th, and certainly all are welcome. So once again, I just want to thank Interfaith for recognizing the work that we do collectively, that we do so well, all the partners that we have. And I feel so good. My whole security team is sitting out there, right? From the front to the back, I'm safe, and I don't know who's going to follow me out, but I really appreciate all the work that you do. So once again, as we prepare for Ramadan, and let us continue to give thanks for receiving the blessings of the Creator's wisdom, and ask that He bestows upon others what He has given to us, and so that they may receive our blessings as well. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the council, and once again, especially the Bosnian Center for opening up the doors and allowing us to be here once again. So in advance, inshallah, Eid Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak.
That's yours.
Let me just say, I didn't need to say anything after the inscription on
Exactly.
here.
That's why I give you 2 minutes.
This is really nice.
That's why I give you 2 minutes. Thanks very much, Councilman Danny Miller. Very special award for him this year, and that's during my reign now, okay? 2019. The one Dr. Habib, he was president at that time last year, and grateful appreciation for Danny Miller. Okay, just quickly, I just want to brief you what's going to happen. The president, somebody from the Bosnian Center, Ismail himself will come up. He'll be giving the adhan, the call to prayer later. You have time for that. And then the Imam from Masjid Al-Abadin, Sheikh Safraz Bakas Al-Azhari, he will be leading us in this Salatul Maghrib. So, Brother Ismail.
Brothers, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Please, we prepare so much food tonight. Halal food. We also have some vegetarian food from one of the best vegetarian restaurants in Manhattan. So please, we know that there is a different faith here, so we have food for everybody. Please do not leave unless you have some food, okay? We are proud in our community and our cooking, so please help us finish the food.
Yeah, they're always very generous. So thank you, Brother Ismail, Abu, and the staff of the Bosnian Center for being generous and having everything here. We want to thank you, NYPD, for being out here. Nilda Hoffman for filling in for Commissioner James O'Neill. Chief Barrera, busy schedule and tired, I know that, with all those active shooter courses around, and tomorrow evening again we'll meet up. I'll be across there, give you that promise. We say inshallah, if God wills it, I'll be there for that course, and the other one at York College coming up, 23rd it's City Hall. So I try to remember and program it in my head without looking at the phone or the calendar. So I know all the activities, and as leaders, we should know them like this, not going to a calendar, inshallah. So thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Everybody, I see Sergeant Bilal here. We'd like to acknowledge him. Hard work in the community from Chief Career Office, always there, and all the members and leaders here. We want to thank you very, very much for coming now. I see Ismail is going to, right now, it's time, so we wind down here. Once again, shukran to all of you. Thank you for being here and being part of the event this afternoon, inshallah.